My name is Mark Siezen. I'm with Bouwinvest, real estate investors out of Amsterdam, and I'm the CEO. So attainable housing is really something that's come up over the last few years. It started off probably mostly in Europe. You see traditional social countries, the Nordics, the Netherlands, Germany, but also some of the more social states in the US, for example, New York, California, focusing more and more on social housing, attainable housing for different parts of the population. And it's something that's growing as most countries really come into a supply-demand crisis when it comes to housing. And then obviously affordability or attainability is really becoming a key issue. And governments across the world we see are struggling in terms of how to develop affordable housing, basically for all parts of the population. And obviously they've looked at the institutional sector to play a role in addressing that as well. So the role of institutional capital in undersupply is they're a key part of the overall system. The system consists of basically social housing on the one side, then you've got the owner-occupied on the other side, and then you've got a big rental segment in the middle. Typically, part of the rental segment is private ownership, but then there's the institutional piece as well. And that is a key piece in terms of making neighbourhoods work, but also typically in terms of making projects work. So institutional capital, that's where they come in and play the role in terms of the overall environment and the overall investment environment, but also the overall physical environment of the buildings that are then built. So if you look at the cities that have really good housing strategies, it's about creating mixed neighborhoods, right? So mixed in terms of income, mixed in terms of the types of jobs people have, mixed in terms of the type of dwellings, so the type of housing that's built in there. Because by doing that, you're creating vibrant neighborhoods, you're creating neighborhoods with upward mobility, both in terms of social mobility, but also economic mobility. And it's really creating that kind of healthy mix that's going to be key. And I think if you can do that at a neighborhood level and at a city level, then you're creating the kind of cities that people are going to want to live in the future. So the way we look at ESG goals is they're basically part of any investment you're going to be doing. And we don't tend to look at them separately. I think, good ESG basically means that you've got good value preservation going forward. And if you haven't addressed these issues, you're going to get bitten by it at some point in the future as well. Our conviction is ESG pays off financially as well. So we don't see any difference between financial returns and ESG returns. ESG returns contribute to financial returns in their own way. And that's true for housing as well. So you need to invest in it to make sure that your housing product is viable not only from a tenant perspective, but also viable from an ESG and a value preservation perspective.